All right, this should be live. My mic is not muted this time. Greetings, greetings, greetings for whoever is already in the chat, and welcome to the last live reaction and discussion from within this house. Hopefully, everyone has had a good day so far. I'll be reading the chapter from OnePieceChapters.com today. Shout outs to my Discord, Badger, for providing me with the link. Greatly appreciated, as always. Sup Nate, sup Marat, sup Raphael, Nadar, Abdel, Hebi, Rico made it. Yo, Sen, the sex man himself, in the chat. A good day in 2020. What is that? Delusion, I suppose. Does this mean that I got the job? Oh, yeah, I had the job. I start on the 14th of September, and I am moving on September 11th. So, which will be right. It's the day after the Reverie that I'm moving. So, I will not be able to live react to the One Piece chapter from my apartment unless I get everything settled in, which is highly unlikely within the first couple days. We'll see. Depends on how things go. I got a lot of things to do, so don't be surprised if there's nothing next week. But yeah, so let's just talk about expectations for the chapter, and then we'll go ahead and read it and then talk to the chat. So, what do I think is going to happen in this chapter? My expectations are that nothing happens in this chapter of any significance whatsoever. I don't think anything progresses in this chapter at all. And since this has been the recent trend, I expect there to be at least one plot point from the previous chapter that becomes invalidated or contradicted, because that's been the trend. My only hope is that the Big Mom amnesia stuff does not occur. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know. But those are my expectations for the chapter. Oh, and Sanji's going to be fine. I didn't really understand what people were talking about. Sanji's going to be legitimately hurt. I think Sanji will be shown to be fine. This, that, and the other. But anyway, let's just go into the chapter, shall we? Chapter 989. It doesn't feel like we're going to lose, okay? We have a... Oh my... This Pound. Which edition is this? Volume 33 of the Pound cover story. I don't even want to look at it. I'll just skip that and go to the next page. Alright, so the first page. They've really done it now. It's all over for those guys. So we see Big Mom on the ground, Napoleon. Big Mom just got ran over by a bike. Big Mom is going to lose it, run away. Looks like the battle has already started. Nami, are you okay? So we see Hyogoro. I'm just going to ignore that panel. What a thing for them to have crashed into. Lend me a hand for a moment, Nico Robin. Sure thing. Tell me what you'd like me to do. That's a relief. You can always count on Frankie. Cap. Now that that's taken care of, I'll better head over to Kim on the others. Be patient, Dritz. It's only the first page, and already a plotline from the previous chapter has been invalidated. Let's see where it goes before I comment on it. So we see the lands, so it's just a little dot. Hey Shinobu, he's on our side. Luffy, you can trust him. So we see Yamato, Kozuki Momonosuke. I am Odin, I'll protect you. Shocked face of Momonosuke and Shinobu. Wait, why are you running away? Smokescreen jutsu. So Luffy's stretching his arms away. And he's just bouncing up to wherever that is. One after the other, you ants just keep popping up. Straw Hat Crew. Gah, Big Mama's about to go on a rampage. Get as far away as you can. We're going to get caught up in here, so all the fodder are running away. With the difference in numbers, there's no end to them in sight. So we see Hyogoro and some person. Those dinosaurs that Denjiro called the Flying Six, let's take their heads. Even if we fail, we can slow them down. Okay. As you say, fighting the drunks around here is a waste of time. Oh, hello, Snickers. She heard me talking. Long time no see, Soul King. Your crew really is full of creatures I want for my collection. So we see her talking to Brooke. Yo ho ho, you have a keen eye. Are you interested in my steel body, old hag? You can call me Frankie. I'm a cyborg. It won't be so easy to capture. I'm strong. Right. Frankie, stop. We have to get out of here. She's a Yonko. You think we're running just because she's a Yonko? Nami, aren't you forgetting something? Our captain is a man who will one day be the Pirate King. So we see Frankie. Radical. I think he's doing Radical Beam. Huh? So we see. I can't tell what Big Mom's grabbing. Is that like a random homie? Something. We hear Gya in the background. What the hell are those massive things? Hey, isn't this where you guys should be celebrating? Numbers. So we see some. I don't know what these are supposed to be. One looks like these guys are drunk out of their minds. Go Kiki. This can't get any worse. They're grabbing the little Frankie's Shogun, the body, I guess. So these are the numbers, huh? Or other ones. Man, they do look like fodder. Although this one kind of like the face looks like a dragon. The one on the far right, that looks like the dragon from Punk Hazard. Like face-wise. I can't see the rest of his body. It looks like he has limbs. But he's got like bent horns. That's interesting. Okay, this reminds me of Thriller Bark. They're as big as oars. They're as big as oars? That's not possible. Oars was significantly taller than these things. At least it appears that way. I don't know. Okay. We'll see. It is them. I heard these are the failures from experiments trying to recreate the ancient giant race. So Oars' race. Okay, failures trying to recreate. Kaido bought these things from Punk Hazard. Oh, maybe that's why that thing looks like a dragon from Punk Hazard. That's interesting. Bought them from Punk Hazard. We didn't see any of these guys in Punk Hazard. Huh. Where were they then? Maybe these were the only ones on Punk Hazard? That's interesting. Wait a second. Is that what I think it is? In that monster's hand, my Brachio tank. Aren't Usopp in the... I got a pet Snickers while I read because she hears me talking and she wants to be pet. My Brachia tank, aren't Usopp and the others there? So they just like randomly have these guys. So that's another... come on, just... You better let go of that. The oversized mole. So Frankie does the radical beam. Hits the number in the face. I'm sure the number is going to be perfectly fine. Well, a laser beam. You sure it was a good idea to shoot it over there? Iron Man? Iron Man. Okay. Frankie behind you. Oh, Big Mom was going to attack Frankie from behind. Jinbei grabs Big Mom's arm. What? Fishman Jujutsu. Whirlpool shoulder throw. Hey, stop tearing the bed up. Jinbei, you bastard. How dare you abandon my crew? You're on my list of people to kill. Try if you'd like. They roll Big Mom off the tower. Wait, more importantly. How did I do? Wahaha. Better than I could have imagined. She'll be coming back even angrier. Get ready. Why is the Knight of the Sea Jinbei here? He's a former warlord. Isn't he the captain of the Fishman Pirate? Who is talking here? That was a close one, Jinbei. Thanks. Come in, Commander Chopper. Ring, ring. Banana phone. Hang in there, Usopp. It's a transmission from Frankie. Because it's time for docking. And they're excited. Blah, blah, blah. Transition to Queen, who has still been standing here the whole time doing nothing. Excellent. Alright, looks like I can go this way. So Luffy just jumped right up to where Queen was. Oh, man. Well, Straw Hat, I can see the sky. Gomu Gomu no. Hey, Luffy, it's you. Zoro, where are you headed? So Zoro shows up. And he says, towards Kaido. I'll come with you. So Zoro grabs on. Queen just says, hey, wait. Rocket. And Luffy is shooting them up. What are these huge creatures below us? Kaido's up there. Kinemon, everyone else is up there fighting too. Queen transforms. And bites Luffy and Zoro. You idiots thought I just let you go. Is he just not gonna chew? What's he doing? Let me see King come in with a bunch of fodder around him. I guess those are his people. Doesn't look like they'll be letting us through. The sky here is guarded way too heavily. And Queen throws them back down to the other part of the fighting. So you see the Frankie docking is happening. I'm not convinced that it's a one-seater, but it's so cool. I can't even tell what this is a picture. Is that Sanji? Momo, did he get away? Damn, it pisses me off, but I have to admit that this suit is really durable. They brought down Jockey. Fourth demon means 4. Commander Chopper, who was acting as a distraction for us, just fell down here. The Straw Hat guy also just came flying down. Nothing but enemies as far as the eye can see. Even still, it doesn't feel like we're going to lose. So chapter title. Hyogoro. That's you would expect that to be the opposite then, since he said it. It's the Straw Hat crew. So a nice spread here. Anyway, up is where we need to go, right? Damn it, won't be as easy as we thought. Are those guys all flying ability users? Alright, one more time. So the strats are all grouped up. I'm going up to send Kaido flying. I'll leave the rest of these guys to you. Watch my back. You got it. Leave it to us. And that is the chapter. Very well. Let me go ahead and talk to LeChat over here. Let me go ahead and switch this up. Put this over Mia. Put the chat over Mia. I should also, let me open up a little notepad here so I can write a couple things down as well. How we doing, Chow? Hello, baby girl. Hi. 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 Yeah. You want to say hi to the stream? This will be the last time they see you again. Hey. This is the last time chat will ever see you. I know. You want to go get pet again. Let me get your claw out of here, princess. Alrighty. Alright, let's go ahead and... I'm going to write down a few things from the chapter first, by the way, guys. So, I will still look at the chat. I'm just going to write a few things down. Yep, last time you guys will see Snickers. This is not my cat. This is just my baby girl. Since I will be moving next week, she's obviously not coming with me. She is going to stay here with her owner. So this will be the last time you guys ever see Snickers. The only other time you would see her is if I come down to visit and take pictures and put on Twitter. So, no more baby girl. No more baby girl. I have been spending a lot of time just cuddling with her every day, man. It's going to suck, man. It's going to suck. The apartment's going to feel lonely without baby girl meowing all the time. I also had a few subs. I mean, not a few subs, a few donations. So let me go ahead and I think I had... Okay, I know I had a donation. I had a $5 donation before this. Let me go on the Streamlabs and see it because it disappeared already. No more Snickers? Yeah. I expect to lose around 4,000 subs whenever Snickers can't be in anymore. Will we get a new Snickers? No. I am not going to have a pet at my new apartment. Or at the first time I'm getting an apartment ever. But no, it costs too much to have a pet. There's like a $400 fee. And then continuous fees after that for every month. Not really worth it. So, oh yeah, I see. Eric Sanchez donated $5 to the super chat. No comment. Thank you very much, friend. Mark Hurst donated $5. Dritz, why even read One Piece if you don't enjoy reading it? Oh, the classic comment. Well, Mark, just because I don't enjoy reading One Piece now doesn't mean I don't stick through it to the end. I've made this comparison 100 times, but why do you still watch sport teams if all they do is lose? Sausage Lord with $5. Boring chapter. Big Mom is just wasting panels. 2 out of 10. Keep with the great work. Emperor Dritz and Darth Snickers. Darth Snickers, man. Darth Snickers. That is hype. Take pictures of Snickers and put pictures on the stream side to replace the shark. I will have to do that, actually. That is a really, really good idea. Try 10K for losing Snickers. I mean, Snickers is basically the main appeal of the channel right now. Damn, really? Deadass didn't know you have to pay continuous fees getting pets from family friends. Greater? Well, I mean, it depends where you go to. I mean, usually if you're moving to an apartment, there's typically like a $300 or $400 fee for having a pet. And depending on where you go, there's either not going to be any reoccurring fees, but from what I've seen, at least where I'm going to, it's a commonality that there's like a $10 to $30 fee per month for pets. And I don't think it's going to be right for me to get a pet at my apartment because I don't plan on staying at the location for hella long, and I don't want to move there with the intention that I'm probably going to move and then have to deal with a pet. You know? It's just not a good thing for the animal. I won't get an animal until I'm ready, or like I know I'm staying in one place for an extended period of time. Just do you think Jinbei is Yonko level? Calm down now. Calm down. Tie up the hair, top knot Jits for Wano. My hair isn't long enough to tie up, Trent. If my hair wasn't curly and this grew straight, it would be significantly longer. Then I could tie it up. But because I have curly hair, I can't tie it up without it. Just like, it doesn't form an actual... It doesn't form much. It's in a weird stage. It has to grow longer. But I'll go ahead and... I need to look up about 3 or 4 things from the chapter to talk about. And then I'll give you guys my short overview of the chapter. All right, let me see here. So that's 1. Straighten my hair. I'm not gonna straighten my hair just so I could tie it up. I don't think I could just straighten my hair like that, man. How many dudes straighten their hair? All right. Hello, Dritz. Sad about your channel? Sad about my channel? Why are you sad about my channel? I'm not sad, man. Dritz's scruffy look is working for you, man. I love it. Well, I guess it's working. I don't plan on changing it soon unless it gets in my way. The only time I change it is because my mustache can grow like over my lip. I'll trim it up when it's over my lip because I don't like tasting my mustache whenever I eat. Just I think we saw the Giants frozen on ice in Punk Hazard in chapter 660. Well, I know that's the first thing that came to mind, but those didn't appear to be. Well, some of them appeared to be like giants, but they were frozen, so they're dead. So where did the live ones come from? The numbers don't seem important enough to matter, so it's not a big deal to me. Just curious though. Just I don't like how Oda drew Nami, Robin, and Brooke in the final spread. They look like fodders. Is that different from reality, Rahul? Dritz, your thoughts on the chapter since I missed the live reaction? Overall thoughts on the chapter. Disappointing, but par for the course. Much like everything else that has been since Wano in general, a lot of pointless plot lines, a lot of things not making sense, generic things, not a whole lot of progression. Let's break it down, because this happens in quite literally every One Piece chapter now. Let's start from the top with the first page, the first thing that I noticed, and then we'll go over the positives. But let's get through the negatives first, because obviously that's what people want to hear. First thing, on the first page, Luffy contradicts what he stated in 988. right off the bat of the chapter for really no reason. What Luffy said in 9 to 88 was, I really want to go up top and fight Kaido, but I can't because then Big Mom will follow me. Big Mom gets hit in the head with a motorcycle, and Luffy runs away to go fight Kaido at the top anyway. What? I'm sorry, what? Like, Luffy even stated in the last chapter that this was an issue and he couldn't do this. But then he does it anyway. Okay, whatever, I suppose. Secondary, we come full circle with the plot points not mattering for any of the Straw Hats within Onigashima. With the Chopper and Usopp plot lines becoming and being meaningless, not accomplishing anything for the plot. Really don't like to see that. So now we have every single Straw Hat, with Zoro included again in this chapter, where their separation was meaningless and doesn't matter whatsoever, especially for the raid of Onigashima. So we have Robin, Jinbei, Usopp, Nami, Sanji, Zoro twice. Everyone was separated at one point in time to accomplish nothing, and the plot points leading nowhere just to meet back in the middle anyway, meaning that the separation to begin with was meaningless because it accomplished nothing. Zoro was separated a second time for quite literally no reason, because he just shows up out of nowhere with nobody, not even the people that was following him that we saw the last time we saw Zoro, just to see Luffy. And it was a funny moment, but you really just have to wonder, how much thought really goes into what happens? Why did Zoro need to be separated a second time? Luffy didn't do anything between the time that he was separated to whenever he met Zoro here that would necessitate that, because typically, there's a few things you do when people are separated, at least within a story structure. Of course, there are other things you can do, but in this situation, Luffy was separated from Zoro, so you can either have Luffy meet a character, he met Yamato, and then have there be something special between them that's shared, that then becomes relevant to the other characters. That didn't happen. Luffy and Yamato didn't have any dialogue that was actually important because Luffy's not a character that can actually talk to people. So Zoro being there doesn't actually change any of the dialogue and doesn't make a difference anyway. And Zoro left to do absolutely nothing, and then he's back anyway. So that's great. Usopp and Chopper, they comedically run away from Big Mom. Another great aspect of Onigashima. They run away. Did they even have a mission? What were they supposed to do whenever they were separated to begin with? Apparently nothing. They didn't have a group effort. There was no plan. And you see that resonant throughout the entire Onigashima structure, where there is no plan outside of the retainers who actually care about what's going on, because the Straw Hats couldn't give more of a fuck. But Usopp and Chopper, they leave, get captured off screen by a number, and then they're brought back to the middle anyway. Why did they have to be separated? No reason, just because. And then we have the Queen stuff. This is the least important of the critiques, because this happens in a lot of mediums, but that doesn't make it right. Luffy sits right in front of Queen, ignoring Queen, grabs Zoro, and tries to gum up to the roof, despite the fact that he stated that it wasn't a thing that he should do. Queen grabs them in his mouth, does nothing, and throws them on the ground. Nice job, I guess, Queen, dude. Can't have the protagonist get hurt. I don't even know why Oda set that up to begin with. Why did Oda even ignore Big Mom like this? And just speaking of Big Mom, Jesus Christ. Back in Whole Cake Island, there was this thing that would happen where anytime something bad happened to Big Mom, you could, even though it was bad, people could rely on, well, yeah, but Big Mom was nerfed and not in her right mindset, so she's, whatever. It makes sense. Big Mom is quite literally full power and is just being thrown around. Plus, she's bloodlusted, wants to kill the Straw Hats, and she's being thrown around for the sake of the plot. What's going on here? What's the coherent structure? Why does any of this happen? That is very disappointing. It is not cool. She is literally Sanji, with how frequently Oda has to include fucking her over. Disappointing. Disappointing. But could we expect different? Not particularly, I suppose. Not with One Piece anymore. But man, wow, what a. Well, at least we have next chapter. I mean, God. Hopefully, just things go for the better, man. No plan, nothing, just brainless events. I wonder what's going through Oda's mind whenever he does half this stuff. That's interesting to me. But let's go over the positives for the chapter. We had some good lore building with the numbers and Punk Hazard. That could lead somewhere interesting. We'll see. I don't expect the numbers to be horribly important, but I think they'll, like, at outside of the main events, it'll come together for a reason related to Kaido, obviously Onigashima. So that's an interesting plot point. Yamato Momonosuke. Ideally, you would want this to lead somewhere that is fruitful for both characters instead of a gag. It can start out as a gag, but ideally, you would want there to be some legitimate dialogue and perhaps feelings coordinated between Momonosuke and Yamato, because if there isn't, then there's really no point in having these characters exist. So there is potential for the Yamato and Momonosuke plotline. They got together, so that could lead to fruitful events. Let's see, what else do we got here? Some of the lesser Straw Hats are getting more panel time. That's a good thing. So, hopefully we get to see more of that. And then outside of that, yeah, we got all the gangs all together. We got a very nice spread. Not sure where it's going to go from there. And Sanji's obviously alright, as he should be. And that is essentially the chapter. Oh, then you have the plot of Hyogoro. The title of the chapter basically leads you to believe the opposite will occur. So, hopefully at some point in time, Oda will introduce some tension. Unlikely for the next few chapters, I would imagine. But somewhere down the line, it'll move. It'll happen. All right. Overall opinion on the chapter. I would say compared to the last few, this one has actually been... Has it been worse? About as good, if not a little worse, than the past couple. But yeah. So about on par. Dritz, what do you think of the 3000 series? Oh, baby. NVIDIA, I was thinking about getting a new computer, like, soon, but I am going to wait for at least, was it September 17th when, was it the 3070 comes out, the 3060? I want to get one of those. Looks good, man. Dritz, Oda separates Straw Hats just to stall because he doesn't know what to do with them until the big stuff happens. Well, if that's the case, if that's reality, then that's disturbing, but whatever. Scabbards are going to be off-screen if next chapter Oda doesn't show the fight. The scabbards are going to be off screened. Well, there's a difference between. I don't think the entirety of them is going to be off screen. Obviously, most of it's going to be off screen, but we'll probably likely see the end of it. But that's essentially par for the course right now. Now, is there more evidence for the raid to fail? Well, I always thought there was reason to believe the raid would fail. The difference between, let's say, what I believe and what Morge believes is how much it's going to fail. How do you feel about the pacing right now? Awful. What? The pacing is awful in terms of what it's doing for the plot. So yeah, I would say in overall it's awful. But like, if you were to take away important stuff like the writing that's being affected by the pace, then the actual timeline of events happening, it's not that fast. Have I watched Fully Cooley? I remember watching a couple episodes of it on Adult Swim and thinking it was like a softcore hentai, but I haven't actually seen the series now. Dritz, do you expect Jack to do anything in this war, or is he just gonna be stalled by the Minx and then get low diffed by Neko and Inu? Low diffed? Oh my. Low diffed? I don't think so. I think he will do something in the war, Nate, but the question is, to what extent does he do something? I think he'll be useful, but we'll see. I mean, I really honestly have no idea. It's hard to predict what's going to happen with the commanders because it's strayed away from what a lot of people wanted slash expected to happen. Like, most people did not expect the Kaido fight to be instigated by all 8 scabbards at once. That was never in the picture, but it happened anyway. So anything could happen. Isn't the referee going to be on the next break week, so you should be able to make it? I don't know when the referee is anymore because it was planned to be next Thursday, I think, but it's also break week. I literally have to ask Roger. Actually, let me go ahead and ask him. Let me ask the chat. When is the we shall see. It's probably going to be in a couple weeks. Should I be able to make it? I should be, like, time-wise, it depends on what day it is, because I'll be starting my new job on the 14th. For the first 30 days of my job, I'm working a regular morning shift, so like 8 to 4:30. But after, I don't know what my shift's going to be, and I don't know when the reverie, what date, like what time zone it's supposed to be in, because I could be at work during the reverie. The date is in the reverie chat. Let me check. Man, just tell me, Silvers. I don't want to look it up. I'm streaming right now. Can't you see him do something very important? Tell me. Yo, Matthew. What's up, baby? Hey, Dritz, how did you feel about Big Mom being easily manhandled by Jinbei and Robin? They aren't even worried about her, and that bugs me. I feel how you would expect me to feel about it. Dritz, what hockey specialty do you think each commander has, and to what extent are they skilled in their main form of hockey? Well, we haven't seen them use hockey, so it's kind of hard to make a prediction. Like, you would assume that with physical people like them, it's armament, but we haven't seen them use hockey, so I honestly have no idea. Next break, so either 2 to 3 weeks from now. So we'll see. It depending upon when the reverie is. If it's during a weekday, then if Roger has it planned for how I think he has it planned, then I would only be able to show up for maybe the last hour if I wanted to show up. If it's on the weekend, because what's my schedule? My schedule is I work Tuesday to Saturday. So it would need like even if it was a Saturday, I would still be at work because my off days are Sunday and Monday. So it would have to be on one of those days for me to be like guaranteed to be there. But I have also been debating. I don't plan at least right now to be in the reverie for maybe like I plan on keeping an eye on it, and if there's a topic that interests me, then I'll ask to join in. But I don't plan to be there. Just are you a video games guy? If so, have you played Red Dead 1 or 2 in thoughts? Am I a video games guy? Once upon a time, I was a hardcore video game guy. Before I got into the One Piece community, I basically just played video games all day, every day. I never played Red Dead though. I don't play video games as much. I play it here and there now, because now I have a new hobby. Did I hear about Chadwick Boseman? I did. It was tragic. Just I saw the screen time since Wano started, and Zoro had the most screen time beside Luffy. But why it feels like this isn't his arc at all? He looks like in any other arc. I want more from Zoro. Well, just because there is screen time doesn't mean it is useful screen time. Hey, Dritz, do you believe that this arc is playing out just like how Oda planned, or that there have, chat, or that there have been serious changes or cuts? I don't want to believe this is Oda's best. Well, the answer to this is kind of twofold in my opinion, because regardless of what kind of author you are, I would imagine going into an arc, you have a general idea of what you want to happen, but as you're writing it, things change because inspiration or deadlines, let's say, or things you hadn't considered. So that happens, but like the changes or the question you're asking is that while Oda was doing it, did something go wrong where Oda realized like, oh crap, I can't do this? Now, I do think there is some evidence to actually prove that Wano has not gone the way that Oda actually wanted it to go or had initially planned for. But it's all a theory. Just what chapter of Haiku are you on? I have not read since the last time I talked to you, Matt. Hey, Jits, what controller would you recommend I get for the Switch? I have a Pro controller. Works for me. Thoughts on the Ray Zero episode? Oh my god, that Ray Zero episode. Woo! Mmm. Fucking juicy, my boy. What a great episode. Do I think this arc can be saved? Looks less and less likely to me with every chapter. I don't, well, I mean, if you're new to the channel, mate, Madao, I have been saying that I think it's impossible to save the arc. Drizzt, is it up to Parasparrow to save this arc? It's Parasparrow is an interesting character because I don't really know what his purpose is for. We'll see what happens. I like the original thing you would assume is that Parasparrow Marco is there to lead to a mutiny, but anything could occur. Just do you think Wano is going to be the most overrated arc in One Piece? Yes, I do. Fraud. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry. You're clearly not enjoying yourself. Don't force yourself. Give yourself a break. Don't presume to tell me what I need to do, Anime Fan Talk. I'll decide that for myself. Jits, what's with the kawaii shark-chan? I have to know. All right, so the story behind the shark picture is I'm in a group chat with Matt, and in there, my nickname is Great White, because skin color. So I have a picture of a great white, a cute great white. Raise zero reactions from Jitswen. You're not getting raise zero reactions on them. It's not happening. Jits, is it just me or am I starting to hate Luffy's character? Well, I'm the same way, so it's not just you, but I would say a vast majority of people are, if anything, they've come to like him more. But for me, it's the opposite. Just I'm someone who prefers having backstories and understanding the villains before their fight. How do you feel about that? I mean, that's kind of the standard formula, but is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. It all depends on how you execute it. $2 from Felipe Reverie without Dritzkun lame. Well, that's likely going to be the case. I just don't see any reason, man. I talked to this extensively with my group of people. Shout outs to the blacks. But I just really don't see any point in being there. Just how did you like the Ball Boy arc in Haikyuu? Also, what's your favorite match so far? I like the Ball Boy arc. It was cool. I liked it. What's my favorite match so far? Oh gosh, I have to remember the matches. Nah. Nothing stands out to me as a favorite. I would like the only things that really come to mind is Alba Josai 2.0 and Shiratorizawa. I would have to pick between one of those, and I'm not sure how I'd be able to pick between them. Just, are you going to watch Yasui's death this week in the anime, or you don't care? I don't watch the anime, so I'll hear what people say about it, but I'm not going to watch it. Just according to your inside sources within the league, will Taekwon be attending the Reverie? Yes, Taekwon will be in the Reverie, allegedly. Stop fronting, Dritz. How am I fronting? Both great matches. Can't go wrong with either. Yeah, I mean, I like both those matches. They were pretty long, but I enjoyed them. Hey, Dritz, have you read ahead in Raise Zero? No. If not, any predictions on how Subaru will take care of the... That's going into spoiler territories, Kaladin, and I know a lot of people in my chat have not watch Re:Zero, so I don't want to get into spoilers for them. Dritz, you just going to bring reality to the reverie, which would piss Grand Line Reviews off? Well, I'm not going to be in the reverie. Unless there's a topic that I think is actually productive. But I can't think of a single topic within the community that I would want to be a part of, as far as like a reverie discussion goes. Dritz, are you still reading My Hero? I do read My Hero, but I have not read the last 4 to 5 chapters, something like that. I haven't read the last 4 to 5 chapters. I've been spoiled on a few things, but I haven't actually read them. You're fronting, acting like you know Haikyuu. I'm on chapter 268 of Haikyuu. Okay, so watch yourself, Buster. I don't know, just your problem with Usopp and Chopper are pretty weak. How? Explain to me. You just said that you didn't say anything to back it up. What's the proudest theory you made of? The proudest theory I made of is probably a theory that was never recognized, but I got it myself. I think I've since privated the video, but it was a video about Napoleon being the information center network for Big Mom, and like I predicted, like all the thoughts of the homies go directly to Napoleon. That ended up being correct. It wasn't like a big theory, but like I had like 100 subs at the time that I made that theory. So like I felt really proud of myself for getting it right, even though nobody acknowledged it. It just felt good to like look over all of the panels and then get it right. Outside of that, I mean, I haven't really gotten too many theories correct. I mean, I have the wedding cake one that I got right. I got like half a theory right for a Capone theory. What are my thoughts on Toriko? I haven't read Toriko, so just you're gonna be quiet in the reverie like you were in Sensei's chat and rap with the Grand Line Reviews. If I joined the reverie, then yes, I would most likely be silent and then maybe drop a few memes here and there, but I would probably refrain from actually entering conversation. Hey, I really don't understand why Re:Zero is so hyped about. What's so great in it? I saw the first season and dropped it after seeing the first episode of the second season. Care to elaborate? If you didn't like it after the first episode of the second season, then it's simply not a series for you. But most people that I know love it because, one, world building, mainly though because of the characters and drama tied in with the concept of what Re:Zero is about. For me, it's fascinating. I love it. Hello, baby girl. Jacobaki with the $5. Thank you. Drop some black pills during the reverie and pop off. Also, Baki. Never reading Baki. How do I feel about the current My Hero arc? And do you think the future of the story looks bright? How do I feel about the My Hero arc? Well, I haven't read the past 4 or 5 chapters. I think the arc's just okay. That's it. I know that within the My Hero fandom, this is like the arc, quote unquote. For me, I'm not a fan of how it's been executed. So it just comes off as okay to me. And do I think the future of the series looks bright? Sure, why not? I mean, right now I'm not too excited about it, but like for other people, it looks bright. Do people even make One Piece theories these days? Yeah, tons of people make theories. Tons of people make theories. Yeah, I need new Joy-Cons, so should I get a Pro Controller instead? I would recommend the Pro Controller. Yo, what's up, Loner? Welcome, baby. What's the beef with the Grand Line Review? Beef, I don't have any beef with the Grand Line Review. I've barely even talked to Grand Line. I don't have any beef with them. Just do you think Katakuri would mid-diff the Straw Hats in a 1 versus 9? What? 1 versus 9? Who's missing? Just prefers the Buff Men and Berserk. Visually speaking, Baki might be one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. So that's kind of very much preventing me from even wanting to get into the series. It's very, very, very low on the totem pole of things that I wanna read. Right next to Ippo. Do I think the community reverie is too soon? Personally, I would say it's too soon because the last one that Matt hosted was in March. And because of the COVID-19 situation, chapters haven't been coming out as frequently. And I don't think a lot's happened between the previous reverie to now to warrant a big discussion. As a matter of fact, I don't think much has happened. So a lot of the topics that are going to be brought up are going to be topics that have been revisited. These are going to be revisited topics with new concepts. So I don't think there's a whole lot to talk about. Unless I'm wrong or I'm missing something. At least from my perspective. There are obviously things that people want to talk about. But in terms of what I want to talk about, I don't see much at all. That's productive, at least. Just when does Re:Zero get good again on the first episode of the Mansion arc? Listen, man, I don't want to. The thing with series is I don't want you to watch something if you're not, like, if you don't see a potential for it or if you're not getting enjoyment. I love Re:Zero, but it doesn't mean that you have to. If you're holding on to the idea of, well, when does it get good sort of thing, and you're on the first episode of the Mansion, then give it a couple more episodes. And if nothing you're seeing is intriguing you, this series might just not be for you, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Have I ever heard of Kengan Ashura? It's similar to Baki, but I think it's better. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it or anything. What's wrong with Ippo? Nothing's wrong with Ippo. I just don't want to start like a 1,400 chapter boxing manga out of sheer principle. Eventually, I'll probably give it a chance, but that is like quite literally on one of the last things that I want to read. I've read somewhere that Big Mom is a failed giant experiment, which explains why her parents have normal sizes, her durability, her strength, her tantrums, and her childlike mindset. Where's the, like, what else is the evidence for outside of her parents are normal, but she's big? Because we've seen that before. Shirahoshi was born from a normal-sized fish. This is probably a stupid question, but would I recommend Re:Zero? Yeah, Re:Zero is one of my favorite shows. Period. Like, one of my favorite shows. I love it. Hopefully it continues the quality. I think there have been a couple episodes. I'm critical of Re:Zero, by the way. I got eaten alive on Twitter for hating an episode that people genuinely loved. But overall, I think Re:Zero is great. There are numerous issues with it, but I still think it's a good ride. I would recommend it for people who like drama with the characters, psychological stuff, and cool world building. I think Re:Zero has some very underrated world building. Just in terms of potential, what it's given us so far in less than 2 seasons, I think it's done a very good job. And the pace is really fast. Episodes go by in like 10 minutes, man. Is Tokyo Ghoul worth reading? Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is definitely worth reading. Absolutely. Drit's least favorite to favorite pre-time skip sagas. Brief summary of why, I guess. Oh my gosh. Now you put him on the spot. Sagas? Okay, what is every saga in the pre-time skip? East Blue Saga. Is everything before Drum Island, is that part of the Alabasta Saga? What saga is that? I don't know what that is. Then there's the Alabasta Saga. Is Skype even a saga? I remember just as Re:Zero fans are wild, they are wild, man. Just as Code Geass, I actually have not seen Code Geass. I've heard Code Geass is cool though, like it's fun. As right now, Jits, would you recommend One Piece to anybody? Yeah, I would recommend One Piece. Just because I'm not a fan of what's going on right now doesn't mean that other people wouldn't be. But like, it depends on how much of a veteran you are to manga. Because One Piece is not a series I would ever in my life recommend to someone as a first watch for a series, because it's one of the slowest burns of all time. So that's not going to be something that catches people's attentions from what they're used to seeing all of the time on TV. It's not a series I recommend to beginners, because I feel like it's going to be hard for people to stick to it. But I would recommend it to people who are used to the medium 100%, to anyone. Anyone out there, I would recommend it that's used to the medium. Dritz King says he doesn't like Re:Zero because the whole reset aspect. I know he says that. I mean, if that's his feeling, that's his feeling. I disagree with it. Dritz, what does the description mean? The description is a quote from Andrew Ryan, an antagonist from BioShock, the video game. What is my favorite One Piece arc, and what would I rate it out of 10? My favorite One Piece arc is Marineford, and as time goes on, it gets a lower and lower rating. I don't know what I would make Marineford right now. I don't think I have, like, maybe, like, Marineford's my favorite, but I don't think it's the most coherently written. Marineford's one of those arcs that gets worse with time in terms of writing competency. But I love it to death. I absolutely love it. In terms of overall quality, it might be like a 7 or an 8 right now, if you took into account writing coherency. But in terms of like how it makes me feel, it's my favorite by far. Congrats on your new job. Thank you, Hanif. Thank you. I appreciate it. The reset aspect is too OP, though. You must admit, Dritz. I think people are looking at it from a weird perspective. It's OP, yes. It's kind of intended to be that way. But the intent of the story is somewhat different, because that's all a character motivation, character aspect for pushing Subaru along. The tension lies with one. The reset aspect is not like Subaru is going to die. It's about every time this happens, it takes a mental toll on the character, but the real thing is the other characters are constantly in danger. That's where the real tension comes from. Because I understand what King says, like, it's not like for him, the reset aspect makes it not as believable for like Subaru as a character. But my counter to that is that's literally the same thing in quite literally every single story ever. The main character isn't gonna die. Or is untouchable. So at least Ray Zero actually incorporated the plot device as a mechanic within the series and uses it for a character purpose. It gets a plus in my book. I can understand the like people just not liking the concept of it. That's fine. I think that's fair to say. I think it has been utilized very well. I think without the reset aspect, I don't think Ray Zero would be nearly even close to being as good as it is now. Because that's kind of the cornerstone of the entire series for me. You can't just get rid of it. It wouldn't be the same. And because I don't even think it's possible to write Ray Zero better with it not being there. You would have to change literally the entire series from the ground up and make it a completely different concept if you get rid of that idea. Because nothing would work if you didn't have that ability. Have I read Nito? I have not. I've never actually even heard of that before. Do I think world building is an important aspect to a manga? It depends on the genre of your manga. There are some genres of manga where world building doesn't matter. Or it's not important. Like slice of life mangas, world building is essentially irrelevant. Like you just have like, you don't even have the skeleton of a world. You have the illusion of a skeleton. So it depends on your genre. For a high fantasy adventure series, world building's one is extremely important. It's extremely important. It changes. Like let's say for Ippo, like a fighting manga, world building can be characters and stuff like that. But you don't have to like go One Piece extents or different lands, everything all the time. It changes. World building is a great thing, but it can also be like it's a double-edged sword. You don't want to world build to the point where you get world builder syndrome. Would I recommend SpongeBob? SpongeBob's the GOAT. SpongeBob is way funnier now as an adult to me than it ever was as a kid. Let's see. My favorite arc is Thriller Bark / Impel Down. Oh, that is interesting, Memento. That is interesting. Parking X's. I asked you a while back, Dritz, but have you seen that Chapter 83 video that Godhand did about Berserk? Something about that chapter was completely different in the magazine and the volumes. Oh, you're talking about the edited out chapter. I mean, I know everything about that chapter. Have I seen that video from him? I might have sometime in the past. I can't remember what he said, though. But they don't explain why Super's in that situation or why that is happening to him. There's like, how many episodes? 30 episodes? You're barely into the story. I think Cole said specifically that the series would be way better if there was a limit to the amount of resets. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. I think that's fair to say. And I can't spoil anything because I know the answer to it now, but if there is no consequence to abusing that power, then that's shit. But if there is a consequence, good in my book. as long as it's a good consequence. But that I agree with. You have to balance out that power with a consequence. I agree with King on that. What's your list of manga to check out looking like? Well, I am going to be finishing Haikyuu. I started Gintama, not going well so far. That's like a side thing though. That's not like a main project. That's just like a side thing whenever I need to like cool my brain off. The next ones on the list are Vinland Saga because I started it. I need to finish it. So Vinland Saga, Monster because I started that. I need to finish that as well. Then Vagabond. What was that other one? Shit. Pun Pun. Stuff like that. So I'll be diving deep into the seinen aspect. Hey, just on the Ray Zero guy from Twitter. I just want to say I've been getting into the novels more. And Jesus Christ, the world building is out of this world. You begin into the novels. I don't know if I want to get into the novels, man, because like, oh man, I want to read, but also time the anime's been so good to me, and I don't want to know ahead of time. Just ever think of writing or drawing your own book or manga? I can't draw. Well, I can draw, but I'm not that good at it. Have you ever thought about writing my own book? I mean, I've entertained the idea, but never gone anywhere. Just what I told you, if the Majin Buu arc is better than Golden Age. Well, I don't remember anything from the Majin Buu arc, so it's whatever. I don't believe it, but you can like it more. Just stick with the anime as long as possible. That's the plan. I'm at the very least going to finish season 2 of Ray Zero before I even contemplate starting the light novels. Just Miura's assistant tweeted out last week that Miura is currently working on the manuscript for the next chapter. I saw that, Sin. I saw that. I'm very excited. Please, God, let there be a Berserk chapter next month and let it be a banger. Please. Have I read Kakaishi Ino Tensei? With those names, I need to look that shit up. Ino Tensei. No, I have not. Just Spielberg blows Golden Age out in terms of character writing. All right, now you need to calm down with the trolling. Just you agree that all the planning and sneaking around mounted to nothing in the raid? We might as well have busted the door open and be done with it. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Please read the Ray Zero novel. Anime is good, but it's skipping many things. What I've heard about Ray Zero in terms of like, I've heard there's the Ray Zero web novel, and there's the Ray Zero light novel. The web novel is basically the bare bones. The author doesn't take out, like, they include as much information as humanly possible in the web novel, and the light novel is the filtered version of the web novel. I have been told of some things that are different in the series, which interest me, and I would like to read it to find out exactly what's going on and how much is actually different. But at the same point in time, this is my perspective. Right now, every week that Ray Zero airs, I watch Ray Zero with JD Legend, Bragadu Ace, Zoro Fanboy, SK, and Quietly. And the experience of watching the episode with other people and then we can just talk about it, it's very, 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 very fun to me. So I don't know if I want to give up that excitement just to learn more. At least immediately. That's how I'm feeling right now. Also, I'm going to put my leg up here, all feminine like. This is a relaxing position. Just caught up with Berserk because of you, Dritz. Thank you very much. Oh, Jose, you read Berserk. Excellent. Yo, I'm assuming from that you really, really liked it. Do you like Guts as a character, Jose? Don't spoil a whole lot of things, but did you like the characters? Just would you agree that Wano doesn't have the sense of urgency that it needs? Doflamingo alone was more intimidating to me than both Kaido and Big Mom combined. That's a problem. That sounds like a Rogers base tweet to me, a Borg rebel. The overall sentiment of what you say, yes, I agree with. Definitely don't read it, then can't betray the boys, especially not for knowledge. Exactly. I can't betray the boys. Hello, baby girl. Okay, let me see if she wants up. Come here. Come here. Come on. Let's see. Oh, man. How's this going to work? I need to get Snickers in the cam. Dude, I wish I had a longer... Oh, fuck me. Oh. No, that's even worse. Alright, give me 1 second, Snickers. Oh, she's just chilling in my arms right now. She's showing her booty. Come speak to the chat. Come here. Oh, come on. There we go. Edgelord, I can't speak too much on that because that would be spoilers territory, my friend. How many chances of monsters did you read? Like 30? Something like that? You know, I have this gaming mat that you're seeing. It's this black stuff. Snickers has gotten so much hair on this. Dritz's Nami body pillow. That's interesting. We need a Berserk conversation stream. We do need one. We do need one. What do I think of Monster Safari? Out of the little that I read, that I really, really enjoyed it. You want a chapter with the shot talking about their favorite cereal? Can't use brand names. Just I'm gonna draw you Will in the Dragon Slayer. That would be lit. Yo, what's up, Virgo? How's it going, baby? Just have you considered uploading these discussions on one of the guys' channels? I upload all of my streams onto my secondary channel, which you you get notified from my Discord, which I put a permanent link in this description of this video. Did you know the ReZero author did a tier list on how strong characters are? I did not know that. Look at them little feet. Look at them footses. Who's best girl in ReZero? It was Rem for me, but now it's Amelia. With a certain other girl kind of getting up there really, really fast. You know what I'm saying? Oh, meatball marinara from Subway. Virgo. Excellent. My go-to subs from Subway are the meatball marinara and the chicken and bacon ranch sub, baby. Dritz, what type of AniTuber content would be different from the norm reviews / reactions and still stay relevant? That's a good question. Would be different from... So here's the thing, because a lot more of the niches in One Piece are starting to be filled out. So you got me, Critic. You have, your reviewers like Brago. You got, Rogers Base. You got Sawyers. You got Tekking. And Marginal Horror are kind of like they're filling out the analysis section. There's always room for someone to come in, but like if you wanted to come into the One Piece YouTuber community and make an impact, reviews and live reactions, unless you're, I'll say that afterwards, but you aren't going to find much success unless you go with either theories, analysis, or something new. Sticker says, licking my mat. I see. Thank you very much. But the only way reactions or reviews are going to blow up for a brand new tuber, they still help you get subs, but they shouldn't be like your bacon. That isn't like your main beef that you get your stuff from whenever you're starting off. But the only way you could ever get that, let's say for live reactions, is if you bring something incredibly unique to your channel. Or something that's highly sought. You see how pudgy my fingers are, dude? I got my dad's. Look at this shit. Pudgy fingers, man. Fucking pudgy ass fingers. And Stickers has ran off, so I will go and put the camera on this. This is hand sanitizer. Is it going to focus? There we go, green apple. But yeah, like, actually, I don't want to go there because I would say this if I was by myself, but I don't want to say it in stream so I can get canceled, but I will ignore that. The chicken bacon BLT is god tier as well. Oh, facts, Virgo, facts. Kind of why when I start my YouTube channel, I'm not going to make One Piece content after I get more knowledge on game development. I'm going to review games, films, and comics too. That could be lucrative. Just say it. Okay, I'll say it. So, if you wanted to suddenly bust out into the scene in terms of live reactions, whether it be manga, it'd be more difficult with manga, but it could still work. Or let's say the anime is if you... It's either you're a hot girl or you are popular for another reason. Because something that is consistent across all mediums, regardless of what it is that looks sell. And it's been the case in the One Piece community as well. But, that's kind of like a shitty thing to say. It's a shitty thing to say. But it's the case. It just feels demeaning to someone, but that's the way it is. Nice hand sanitizer. It's pretty nice, baby. I have. Let's see. Can I configure video? Oh damn! The focus didn't change. All right, I guess I'll switch that. Am I calling Brago hot? I might be. I might be. Oh. Oh man, did I get shit on this? There we go. Bro, it's really not that bad. I don't consider it that bad, but whenever you say it to people, it can just trigger certain feelings. You know what I'm saying? Do I find it surprising that there aren't any big Asian anime YouTubers? Giguk. There are also big Japanese YouTubers. I mean, some of them are actually Oda's a fan of, but... Looking good in that curly hair. Cap. In the YouTuber term of power, you beat Legend Max. That may be facts. That may be facts, actually. Brog also has an OnlyFans. I'm subbed. I get them Dofi feet pics. But that's kind of the reality of the world, man, is certain things sell more than others. And it's not a bad thing, but it's just... You know, I was always curious about this, especially with, like... Let's go back to my earlier point about, let's say, women becoming more popular based off of attraction, right? Most women are well aware, or I would imagine are well aware of what's going on when that happens. But I want to picture or talk to them if I had the chance about the psychological impact that has on them. Because if you're aware of it, it will eventually affect your psyche. I wonder what they think of that. That's interesting. Morge is big? Yeah, Morge is getting bigger. No pause. Morge is getting bigger. He's leaning more towards... I've talked to Morge about the potential of YouTube full-time, but right now he's in his real-life adventures with his actual company. But Ohara is doing it full-time now, at least during the pandemic. I'm not sure where Ohara plans on going or how long he's going to do full-time tubing. But now that he's in it, he's going to be getting residual revenue and stuff like that. They are obviously well aware. My problem is that they play it off as if they don't. Well, is that a bad thing? Because most of them are well aware, as you say, Borg. But what's the implications of either owning it or playing coy? Because both have different, like, you would have to be a certain type of person to say it and then own it. Most people, I would say, gravitate towards the latter half, where it's easier to play coy because you're running away from the truth. Or you don't want to acknowledge it publicly. Because that can be something that actually hurts your mentality. You know, it's not necessarily refreshing when you isolate the reasoning into one sphere and then focus on it, especially if it's not necessarily a gratifying reason. Good evening, Jerts. I'm a bit late. What are your thoughts? Greetings, Moonlight. Thoughts are a little bit worse than the previous two chapters for the current chapter. Just when you think we are getting Zoro's backstory expansion if we get one. So this is assuming that we get one. Well, if there was anywhere we'd get it, it would have been in Wano, and it hasn't happened. So, I guess we got the rest of Wano if it's going to be a possibility. It's basically about who you know as well. That plays a factor. Be like that bathwater chick. She knows she gets money off of her looks, but like that also has a psychological impact as well, Young, because Belle Delphine also took a break from doing what she was doing for close to a year. I can only imagine the psychological impact that had on her as well, because especially in her like goodbye video, she seemed pretty fucked up. Living in that sort of mentality, it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy at all. Can it lead to success? Yes, but doesn't necessarily mean it's all good, fun dreams. That's why like you do something, it can be lucrative, but it can also hurt you at the same time. I can't tell you how many rap songs I listened to about people rising up from the bottom, getting rich, and then finding out that money only led to more problems. More money, more problems. Just I've heard some people who are bigger influencers talk about how being in the public eye harms self-image because they start assigning more to what others think about them. And that can be the case as well. And that's somewhat unavoidable, right? Once you reach fame, ego comes along with fame. Like, fame, I can't fucking say this word I want to say. Fame flames ego. So it boosts it. And eventually you're going to care because you built your image off of that. There are people in the One Piece community that care about what people think about them. And whenever things are bad, they become depressed. And some of them are big content creators. Throw your dignity away and care about that money. But even if you throw away your dignity and you get money, that could be seen as somewhat noble as well, depending upon the circumstances, right? Throwing away dignity, how you feel about yourself as a human, in order to obtain success. Is that so different from how people make it to begin with? There's some sacrifice in everything. And to get to the top of anything, you have to give something up. So for a businessman, let's say a successful lawyer or a CEO works 80 hours a week to make their company or their business more profitable so they can become number one. So they spend that much time working, but let's say they sacrifice their home life. Their marriage crumbles. They can't become a father to their kids, so they become distant with their family. But they obtain success, and now is a way to provide for their family. These things happen. Quite a lot, actually. I thought this was the One Piece stream, not a graphic analysis. Well, I mean, I saw an interesting topic, and I wanted to expand upon it. I quite enjoyed those types of topics, so that's why I went in on it. Fair exchange, equivalent exchange. Yeah, you could say that. Equivalent exchange. Just you need a hug, man? I'm good. I'm just like, if it's not already obvious, I am like I would say, despite the fact that I come off as like a fucking asshole, I would say that I'm pretty empathetic, or I'm interested in the emotions of other things quite a bit. So those sorts of topics interest me a lot. Is Griffith your favorite villain? Out of the villains that I've read so far, by a mile, Griffith is my favorite. No, I'm not the most read person, so whenever I read some of these bigger name seinens, that could change, but as of right now, yes, Griffith takes it by an absolute mile. Just what do you mean by dignity? Well, how do you define dignity? It's a topic, or it's an idea. So you can assign dignity to whatever it is that you feel pride in, or what you value. So, example. What's an example? Okay, I'll bring up a potential situation that could have occurred, let's say, within Wano, right? Sacrificing dignity to do something. Let's say Hiyori. Oda went through and actually did something relevant with Hiyori's courtesan plotline. Sleeping with men. Or doing things like that. Sacrificing your dignity as a Kozuki and as a woman in order to reach a path, to provide for something, to plan for something. Or people look down on you, or people look at you differently. That could be seen as dignity. But dignity can also be defined as other things. Only Johan has a chance to be a better villain for Dritz. That's what I've heard. I've heard that Johan is basically the only other villain. He's the only other villain in manga that I've seen on timelines and conversations even put on a close level to Griffith. So I am very interested to read more of Monster. Oh, hello. Hello. Shut up. Meow. Meow. Now, yeah, there's this fun game I play with Snickers where, like, if Snickers starts meowing and you meow back, she will just continue meowing. It's adorable. This is a very entertaining stream, Dritz. I'm listening to this while drawing a Ninja Zoro art. Ninja Zoro, that is interesting. Dritz, do you believe Luffy can sacrifice his crew for his dream? Which one does he prioritize? I don't think we have enough. I don't think Luffy's a deep enough character in order for that to even be a feasible option. I would say that Luffy is willing. There's a difference between sacrificing his crew and willing to put their lives in danger for his dream, because he's obviously willing to put his crew's lives in mortal danger for his dream, which is not necessarily a bad thing, by the way. I'm not trying to frame it that way. Scar says, at Dritz, it actually impresses me how you keep going despite the hate you get regarding your opinion on One Piece. What is your mindset? What helps you keep going aside from the community friends? Well, I mean, I don't know how I necessarily come off to people whenever I have an idea, because I like to think about stuff. Like, I have an idea of what people think about me in terms of, like, that category. Like, I obviously know what people think about me. But much like with a lot of things, at first, it sucks. But over time, it just becomes normalized. It doesn't matter as much. It depends on your mental state, because right now, nothing can really hurt me, because the thing that hurt the most with, let's say, community rebuttal in terms of my personal mental health was my own satisfaction and hate of what was going on in the series. So if I would, the more passionate I become, the more susceptible I am to being hurt, I suppose. Where now that I'm somewhat distant and I've separated myself from the series for the most part, nothing really bothers me anymore. And even whenever things did bother me, I tried to make it seem like it wasn't that bad, but I'm a very passionate person, so. Perspective is key. Even when I was at the height of my, let's say, One Piece reviews when I was shitting on Wano, I thought that what I was doing was a good thing, even if it got, let's say it got a lot of rebuttal from the community. I still thought it was a good thing. So my belief in my own values, I guess you could say, won out in that case. Do you agree that Luffy seems not to care about his crewmates' opinions and is not much different from other pirates in terms of having a what I say goes mentality? I mean, like, Luffy cares because whenever people say stuff, he takes it to heart. Whenever he gets called out, he'll say, yeah. And it's not like he just tells them to, like, sometimes he will say shut up, but that's like in the heat of the moment. It's not a ground rule. Like, Luffy said shut up on 2 occasions in, like, tense moments, but it wasn't, like, I wouldn't say in a demeaning way. Well, I guess it wasn't a demeaning way, but it wasn't coming from a bad place. Also, Penguino, I would like that to happen, but I don't have much faith in it. If it doesn't happen in the current arc, then it's not happening. Wano as a whole is a great setup chapter. Dritz, great setup chapter? Oh, calm down. Whoa. We're going a bit too far with that one. Young, stop. But yeah, I guess the chat's kind of slowing down, huh? I suppose I'll end it within the next, let's say I start the stream at 3. I'll end it in 17 minutes so I can get that exactly 2 hours going. You know what I'm saying? And then I will end it, and that will be the conclusion to the last stream in Florida. Just a DM'd you a sneak part of the art on Twitter. Let me go ahead and check her out. Oh, that is looking good, man. That is looking good. Just would Wano's ratings increase if Chopper becomes the main course of the end of the arc feast? Yes, it would go up. How far, Monster, are you? Like, the last time I read it 3 years ago, about 30 chapters in. No discussion? No discussion. There's already been a few discussions, man. Matt had one earlier in the morning at, like 6 a.m., 5 a.m., something like that. And then Virgo had his discussion. What state am I moving to? I'm moving to Alabama. Hey, boy, Alabama. Dritz, do you think the post-time skip has been a continuous drop in quality, or are there post-time skip arcs you like more than pre-time skip? I would not say it's a overall, continuous drop in quality across the board, I would say. But if I were to like draw a graph, it'd be more like down, then a little bit up, and maybe it stays up for a little bit. Like it'd be a wiggly line, then up, then just straight down, just a plummet. Who do I got winning the chip? Ooh, I mean, I don't know who's going to the NBA chip this year. I want to say either the Clippers or the Lakers. Just do you foresee the ending of One Piece being somewhat rushed? I mean, it's already being rushed in terms of a story sense, not necessarily in time. But yeah, I think it's going to be rushed. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't be. They would treat critics like a king in Alabama. That's right, boy, Alabama. Do I think the next chapter will show the Red Scabbards, or will they fight with Kaido get skipped? Well, I mean, the fight with Kaido is going to get skipped for the most part. We'll see, like, we'll probably get, like, a half chapter of stuff happening, I would imagine. But we're not going to see much, I don't think. Sandwolf, to get a spoiler explanation of that question, I would advise you to like DM me on Twitter or Discord, because then we could actually talk about it. I don't want to spoil for other people who have not read the series. Just how'd you feel about Long Ring, Long Land? Pretty meh. Pretty meh. Just what are your political views? I don't belong to any party whatsoever. I'm not registered to vote. So I could really care less about being involved in politics. It's called Watchmen. I've heard of Watchmen before. I've heard of it. Yeah, I've seen JB's views on that dynamic, and I think JB has a skewed view of some things, but it's the first time reading, so clarity comes with time. And I do think it's debatable, at least. The one thing that saves Long Run, Long Land from being the worst arc is Aokiji. It depends on what you mean by worst. What's my new job? Should I even say? I will be working in a knock. If you know what a knock is, then you kind of know what I'm doing. But if you don't know what a knock is, I might have to Google it. Ever thought about delving into comics? There are some really good stuff I think you would enjoy. I've never actually thought about delving into comics because I really just have too much manga to read. But I've entertained the idea before, I would say. Just as Batman, facts. I am Batman. Ooh. Am I a hitman? Do you think someone as flabby as me could be a hitman? Porn star Dritz? Keep guessing. Just have you seen Totally Not Mark's One Piece reviews? Nope. I didn't even know who Totally Not Mark was until people started telling me that he was watching One Piece. I never even heard of him before. I haven't seen any of his videos though. No, have not watched them. So he's a computer man. Yes, computer man, indeed. Just have you ever thought about getting back into the game Yu-Gi-Oh? Um, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but ever since everything changed in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, Jeffrey, which is I'm assuming what you're asking, I think Yu-Gi-Oh permanently went downhill once Pendulum Summon was introduced. Pendulums ruined basically every single archetype that came before it, made them all unplayable for the most part. And then Lynx came around, and I think Lynx fucked shit up. That made it made synchros and things that came before it virtually unplayable. I just don't like the way that the game's set up right now. I wouldn't really say there's much skill involved, as opposed to was. You don't have multiple terms to go back and forth with each other, setting stuff up. It's all about building a board with like 9 negates. I would consider going back into Yu-Gi-Oh if there were eras that I could play in and they were popular. Kind of like how Magic has different formats you can play in, where like if you want to play certain cards, you can play certain cards. If there was a time where like I could go back to the highlight of Yu-Gi-Oh in old metas and play in tournaments, and there was a lot of people playing, I would be going to locals every single week. Every single week I would be going to locals and playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Game fucking sucks now though. Actually, me and my friends, my roommates that I'll be leaving next week, we used to play Yu-Gi-Oh all the time. We were playing it yesterday and the day before that because like it's just something we go back to. We just play the old card, like the old decks that we used to play before Pendulums came out. And dude, it is so much fun. It is like oodles of fun. Oh god, it was such a great game. I feel like it was like perfect. And then if you try to like look at all the shit they have now, it's just huge disconnect. Huge disconnect for the idea of just wanting to sell money, wanting to make money. Create new archetypes, create new cards, create new engines, create new styles of play like pendulums and link summoning so that we can just make new cards and get more money instead of just, keeping the balance of power the same. Stick with the good shit that worked and just build off of that. No. Fucking bullshit. Just playing Duel Links. I can't play Duel Links because Duel Links is not actual Yu-Gi-Oh. That's like Putt Putt, the Putt Putt version of Yu-Gi-Oh. Start with 3 cards, have a 20 card deck. Nah, thanks, dude. Nah, thanks, bro. Elemental Heroes, Pog, my roommate's mains E-Heroes, man. E-Heroes are great. I have my decks that I love to play, which are now obsolete, but I love to play them. Create new cards that will get banned once every 3 months because they make new cards that are ridiculously broken, so they have to be banned, and blah, blah, blah. Just what would you do if someone burned all your non merchandise? I don't have that much. I got that poster. A new one that I haven't put up yet because I've been saving it for my new apartment. That body pillow. It's like 5 things, man. If they burnt that, whatever, I guess. It sucks, but it's not like I have a huge collection or anything. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Elitist too. I love the consistency. Bro, I am just the definition of consistency. Both on my channel and in discussions. What's up, Christian? Best Yu-Gi-Oh! Animated series. I didn't watch anything after 5Ds, but between Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and 5Ds, The Nostalgia series is obviously the original Yu-Gi-Oh, but the best overall story, I think, is 5Ds. What decks do you play? My favorite E-Heroes, and then it has to be Dark Magicians. My favorite decks to play are Frognarks, Mystic Piper, X-Sabers. I played Madolches, but I just had that. It was my favorite. Hunders. I was a big fan of Twilight for a long period of time. I love playing Twilight. I like Gravekeepers, although it's not like I didn't main those. It just I've played a lot in a lot of decks. Tengu Plant format. That was amazing. If I had the money to get nerfed spellbooks, I would get nerfed spellbooks. Spellbook of Judgment should never have been made. But spellbooks are actually a really fun deck to play. Bumping Freebird in honor of your move from Florida. Thank you very much, boy. Marineford versus Conviction. Conviction. Mystic Pipers. Haha. Also, X-Sabers are indeed obsolete. I tell them, man. That's my shit. That was my shit. Mystic Piper. Oh, I loved hand control, man. My favorite thing was Chaos Monsters and hand control. Oh, so good, bro. Oh, fucking loved it. Loved it, man. Frognarks is my favorite deck, though. Frognarks. Treeborn. I have ulti Treeborns. Beautiful. Best, like, $60 I ever spent. Caius, Ryza, Light and Darkness Dragon. That's my shit. I feel like there's a real disconnect between the fans and the critics of One Piece. There's only one critic, Christian. What are you talking about? Also, how you doing, baby? Did I watch EFAP 100? I did not watch EFAP 100. Do I read comics? I do not read comics. I don't really know much about anything about comics, really. You're a third-rate duelist with a third-rate deck. What does it mean to work in a NOC? Well, the NOC is spelled N-O-C. Someone had it in the chat. It's a Network Operations Center. Dark Worlds? Oh, that's cancer. Frog FTK? Get that the fuck out of here. Ojamas? I played Ojamas for a bit, actually, Sen. Ojamas are hilarious. They're hilarious. My water deck and win in 2 moves. Mermails, maybe? A Legendary Ocean. Did summon 3/4 of the year is over. How'd your resolutions go? How much running did you do? I was doing running, and then I did no running. So it went like how it usually goes. Nowhere. Yo, Volcanics? Volcanics? Oh, Volcanics is a weird deck. They were literally fire attributes, but I don't know if they were a fire deck. That was kind of like a... I would almost consider Volcanics a troll deck. Did you like XYZ summoning threats? Oh, yeah, I loved it. I think XYZ summoning was fantastic. I was skeptical whenever it first came out, especially if you really played Yu-Gi-Oh! And you went back to the original rulings where cards would get their effects immediately after being detached as XYZ material, and you can get like a Sankin effect and all that shit. That was lame. But XYZs and synchros was the perfect combination, man. Like, that was just amazing because you had the best of both worlds in terms of how to play. I thought it was a perfect combo. Teledad, I did not play during the Teledad format. Thank God, because I wouldn't have had the money either because Teledad was expensive. What's up, Jits? What's up, Unnoticed? Crystal Beasts were good, except the Rainbow Dragon was useless. The guy would brick my hand every time. He's so useless. I played Crystal Beasts as well. That's the deck I wanted to get because it's super cheap because they fucking suck. But it's a fun deck. Super Deep Sea King Coelacanth. Oh, the OTK, Fish OTK? Was it Calvin Tahan topped a YCS with Fish OTK? And whenever I saw his deck profile, I wanted to make Fish OTK. I proxied it out. Shit was fun. Did I play Pokemon Sword and Shield? The only Pokemon I've played is Pokemon Yellow, the black and white version, and Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Snap. That's it. What part of Florida do I live in? I live near the Panhandle, boy. The Panhandle. Oh, Pyramid of Light Sen? Yeah, in the movie, I didn't have any of the movie cards. Gaga Giga Go. Yeah, XYZ, the rank 4. Pokemon just isn't for me. Yeah, I replaced Pokemon with Fire Emblem in my life whenever I was a kid. Just the reason why I asked you about what do you mean by dignity is because do you mean we decide for ourselves what would make me lose dignity, or do you think it's society's idea of dignity? I think it's a little bit of everything because I think the idea of dignity might be one of those things where it's like a solitary truth. Like that, you might be able to argue dignity as like a truth for humans, as a concept. But also society does dictate as well what people would consider dignity. And there's also the personal factor, what you take pride in, things you value. I don't think it's as simple as one answer. How much do you hate it in Florida? I live in Orlando with my brother. He told me about your channel, Starman13. I don't hate Florida. Florida's fine. I mean, despite Florida, the people in Florida being stupid, Florida's been a great place to live. I miss the seasons, but I can't particularly complain. Was I a Dark Magician stan or a Blue Eye stan? Originally, in my youth, I was a Dark Magician stan. But as I grew older, I became a Blue Eye stan. The original print for Blue Eyes and Dark Magician is some of the best card art in Yu-Gi-Oh! Period. I love that art style. It was so unique. How do I feel about ban lists in Yu-Gi-Oh? They're kind of necessary, but it's also some bullshit. Just would you go on vacation to Mexico? Depends on where. Mexico's kind of a dangerous place. Just is it true in Florida the more north you go, the more south it gets? I've never heard that before, but I don't know much about Florida, so I don't think I'd even be able to answer that. I'm a loner, man. What about the people in Florida that makes them stupid? I don't actually know, Nate. I don't know what makes them so stupid. Stupid people are everywhere, but in Florida, maybe it's because like half the people come down here for like their entitlement of like being warm all the time and shit like that. But jeez, man, there's some really stupid fucking people down here. Mexico for the next meetup. Brago, calm yourself. Yo, Brago, speaking of which, while we were doing the stream, I clicked on your live reaction. How many dislikes? What's up with the dislikes in your live reaction, man? What'd you say, huh? What'd you say? Let me look this up again. Why you got 61 dislikes, Brago, huh? What happened there? That's almost 10%. What'd you say? I have not seen an alligator here. Edgelord. Brago, big hands. You still run your water deck with Grand Fisherman and Yumi. Oh, Sen, that is old school, baby. My friend used to, the person who owns this house, one of his first decks ever was a legendary ocean deck. I don't know, honestly. I think the only thing I said was the Frankly declaration was weird. I'm going to have to watch it then to learn what the truth is. I see a bunch of conflicting opinions. I see he hate on the chat. Brago provoke people who hate on power scaling. What's going on, man? Brago, tell me the truth. Dritz, in Legend of Korra, what do you think about Amon's ideology prior to his unmasking? Do you think a purge of benders was a good idea? Was he a slight reminder of gun control debates? Gun control debates. I mean, I haven't seen Korra in years, but, I mean, the world building didn't back up Amon's ideology. That was just him basically lying. So in terms of his ideology, it didn't make sense. My first deck was a Toon deck. I still think it's fun. My brother, his first deck was the Pegasus deck, and I did not know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Whenever I was like 7 years old, but I was playing it anyway with my brother. And, dude, he made up so many fucking rules, and he just beat my ass every single duel. He would summon all of the Toon monsters, attack me directly, and shit like that, and I was like, Am I ever going to get a Dritz flashback with J? I've had a few Dritz flashbacks in the past. Dritz core greater than Avatar. I mean, if you like it more, sure, whatever, I guess. No, it does not work like it does in the show, Christian, at all. But let's say we're going to be ending the stream very, very soon, boys and ladies and gentlemen. The last stream in Florida. So I will see the last couple comments and we will end it here. If people stream on different channels, you can probably find me there because I'll probably join the discussion. But I'll have to see you guys next time, I suppose. Gaia, the Fierce Knight attack. That's right. If anything, Senzoro needs the first deal with King and Queen. Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster design greater than any manga character design. The monster design Yu-Gi-Oh! Was pretty crispy, I'm not gonna lie, man. Pretty crispy. But yeah, if I'm ending the stream, you guys have already seen Snickers. That was the last time. So say goodbye to Snickers. She's not here. She's out laying in the hall. But you have to say goodbye to Snick. If you follow my Twitter though, I'll probably post a couple pictures of Snickers before everything's all said and done. I'll have to save some pictures for myself as well. But thank you everyone. Hopefully everything goes great with my move and I can get internet up ASAP so that I can have the first stream from my apartment, the first apartment I'll have ever owned. And then we'll see what happens from there, man. If I'm in the Reverie, then I hope to see a bunch of your names in the chat. Thank you for all the support. Much love to everyone. And you guys have a wonderful night, wonderful day, or wherever you are. Peace out.